Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
John Angelo Gotti. He was the acting boss of the Gambinos from 91 to 99, and obviously became that when old John Gotti was sent to prison. He was born in Queens, New York, February 14th. He was a Valentine baby. Ooh. 64 to John Gotti and Victoria DiGiorgio Gotti, whose father was of Italian descent and mother was of half Italian, half Russian. Gotti was raised in a two-story house, Howard Beach, New York, with 4 siblings, which includes sister Victoria Gotti and Angel, plus brothers Frank and Peter. Angelo Ruggiero was his godfather and middle name he took after, which is John Angelo Gotti, obviously, whom he and his siblings considered an uncle. Everybody's an uncle in the mob. Gotti attended New York Military Academy in his youth.
By the time he was 5 years old, his daddy sent to prison. 3 years. He recalled his friends in school. They didn't believe that he even had a dad. They never even seen him. He would tell them that he was away on business. They're like, sure he is. This dad of yours on business. His friends would tease him for not having a dad. And then one day in 1972, guess what happened? Oh, Daddy showed up out of nowhere. In an interview with 60 Minutes, he says this, almost on cue, this brown Lincoln Continental Mark IV with smoked windows. At the time when nobody had smoked windows. Comes rolling down the street. Stops right by me. Then the window rolls down, and I turn and says, there's my father. Everybody was in shock. He goes, where's the house? He didn't even know where we lived. So I says, the second house with the corner with the green awning, Dad. I'll see you over there. Look at that. That's cool that happened with all of his buddies around him, you know?
Yeah, but I guess it's not so cool that your dad doesn't even know where you live, though.
Then they were like, you paid some guy.
Right. You don't even know him. Look exactly alike, though. Well, 3 years later, though, the older Gotti was back in prison, and it was then that Junior knew his father was always going to put the life ahead of everything, even his own family. He says there was nothing he didn't like about his life. My father and my mother, probably. My father lived that life 24/7. In fact, his wife and kids were second to the streets. Sure. He loved it. He loved the code. He loved the action. May 18th, 1980, when he was 16, a neighbor accidentally ran over his younger brother. It was 12-year-old Frankie Gotti while he was riding his bike outside the house.
Oh, no.
Well, he says John never showed much emotion about the tragedy in public.
I bet he did, though, in private.
Well, but things were different behind closed doors, Junior says.
Figure that out.
He says, in my bedroom, the vent was attached to his den, and I would hear him cry.
Oh, no.
Says my mother was inconsolable. She was upstairs on tranquilizers. John Favaro, who was the neighbor that accidentally killed Frankie, vanished after he was abducted by several men 4 months later. Gotti Jr. eventually acknowledged that his dad, he said, yeah, he was probably involved in that disappearance. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, similar.
You can't just kill a mafioso's son, whether it was intentional or not.
So similar to the plot of Your Honor. If you guys don't know, Bryan Cranston, judge. So similar.
Wickety whack.
So similar. It's crazy. After graduating school, Gotti's father helped him start a trucking business called Sampson Trucking Company. And after the business had failed, he helped him get in a position in the Carpenters Union. And he's like, all right.
Hey, I'm in the Carpenters Union, but I've never been done carpentry, but I'll be in the union.
According to federal prosecutors, Gotti was inducted into the Gambino crime family on Christmas Eve, year 1988. He had already been learning the ropes since 1982, but now he was officially in the life. Mm-hmm. According to a fellow mobster, Michael D. Leonardo, who was initiated at that very same night, Gravano held the ceremony to keep Gotti from being accused of nepotism.
That's Sammy the Bull Gravano, by the way.
Right. He was like, man, you can't do that. They'll think just because he's your kid. Right. Then he's going to get teased, and no one's going to have respect for the guy. He was like, I'll kill him! Kill them all! Right. Junior, he later recounted how his father reacted to his induction. He says this, when my father embraced me, he put his arm around me. He looked at me as a street guy, as a knock-around guy, a bounce-around guy like himself. Proudest moment of my life. Was the proudest moment of my life because I was slowly becoming like him. All right, good for you, bud. That guy, 10 reasons I love my dad. He was named a capo regime, which is captain, 1990. And he is believed to be the youngest capo in the Gambino family's history.
Oh, they didn't want to show nepotism, but then that happens. Right. Everybody else like, dude, I've been serving you guys for 40 fucking years. The hell? Like his uncle. We'll see. Also in 1990, Gotti married Kimberly Albanese. They have 6 children, live in Oyster Bay Cove on Long Island's North Shore. Fast forward 2 years, April 92, his father, Johnny Gotti, received a life sentence for racketeering and related offenses. His father asserted his prerogative to retain his title as boss until his death or retirement, with his brother Peter and his son Gotti Jr. relaying orders on his behalf. Remembering how his father had been brought down by the FBI bugs, Gotti adopted a more secretive way of doing business. He discussed mob business mainly through walk talks or conversations held while walking alongside trusted captains.
Right.
He also tried to pose as a legitimate businessman. Well, you don't have to try.
I bet that Gotti Sr., the most important stuff, and with the old heads and all that, him and Peter ran that shit. But old Junior he was the guy. You know what I mean? It was kind of like Uncle Junior and Tony,
Right.
but with Peter probably a little more
Right, I was
powerful
gonna say.
than Uncle Junior.
Well, who has more respect, first of all?
Right.
Probably Peter, but as we'll see, they were both idiots in the eyes of the mafia.
Especially Peter.
Man.
Well, yeah. However, several of his button men didn't think much of him, thinking he was just incompetent.
Yeah.
He was a moron. He was not nearly as good as a negotiator as his father. The Gambinos lost out on several disputes with other families as
Can't
well.
be having that, man. That's how you get a mutiny on your hands.
The Genovese family was so unimpressed with Gotti that it refused to deal with him at all. He was like, "Oh, look at this clown."
Jeez.
1995, Charles Carniglia and John Elite were involved in a major conspiracy to murder Gotti Jr. 1997, a search of the basement of a property owned by Gotti. FBI found typed list of names of made members in his organization, as well as $348,700 in cash. A list of the guests who attended his wedding, along with dollar amount of their wedding gifts, totaling more than $350,000. And they also stumbled across 2
Yeah, might as well for good measure. First of all, I understand like maybe writing the names down in like handwriting, but they took the time out to type them, print them, and then keep them.
Why would you need a list of made men? Your made men should be countable on one hand, or 2 hands at least.
Well, there's more than 10 made men.
I don't know about that.
Yes. Official mafia memberships, like, well, back then, it was a couple thousand of actual made men.
I don't know about made.
Yes. Mafia membership right now is like 1,000 of actual made men.
Not in one family. I'm talking about one family. Should be 10, maybe 20 guys.
So we're 3,000 members and associates, but how many members? Yeah, but either or, there's hundreds of made men.
Right, but not, yeah, with
Probably a family has
20.
damn near 100, I would say.
Maybe.
It's only 5 of them.
I guess maybe you might need a list somewhere, but why would you keep a list?
Well, they usually don't, as we'll see, as also found was a list of several men who were inducted into the other families in 91 and 92.
No.
Whoa, that'll get you killed. A long-standing rule in the New York Mafia calls for prospective members to be vetted by the other families before being inducted. Right. So you had to have a list of who's Johnny Squirts or something, you know.
Right.
However, normally these lists are destroyed almost as soon as the inductions take place.
Right.
The discovery enraged Gotti's father as well as the other bosses, since it put dozens of other mafioso at risk of government scrutiny. The episode earned him the nickname Dumb Fella in the New York media.
Geez.
Damn, and then you got the media just out there, like, why would any of the other families, not let alone the Gambino family, but why would any of the other families make him or let any Gotti member be ahead of the family?
We should make a movie. It'd be like a comedy type, but still mafia.
Dumb Fella?
Yeah, Dumb Fellas. And it'd be about the Gottis and how stupid they were. It'd be dumb. It'd be a comedy. You'd be laughing your ass off throughout the whole thing. Called Dumb Fellas.
I don't know if it would be about the Gottis, but...
Well, you don't have to be called the Gottis. They can be called the Natties or something.
the Grattis. The Grattis.
The Garattis.
But still...
And we call him Jim Garatti.
Why would any of the other families let another Gotti be head of the family when they already knew the scrutiny and the shit that was on the original John Gotti?
Well,
and they already know that his son's going to be looked at by the cops already.
John Gotti's still actually the boss.
Well, I get it, but
why?
Come on, they could have like, man, You don't have nobody else? I mean, Della Croce, or he's probably dead by now, but somebody had to have been other than these two morons.
It's very comical. I'm surprised they're still alive, to tell you the truth. These guys would have been dead in like the early 80s,
Right.
70s.
Well, 70s, 60s for sure. 50s, 40s for
Instantly. Lucchese would have been like, meow.
sure. Right. You let them get a list of everybody that was made?
See, even a low guy like Nucky Johnson would have killed him.
He wasn't even officially in the mob.
Right. Jeez, these guys are
I'm
lucky.
so outraged.
Like, back in my day, you would have been dead. Yeah. 1998, he was indicted on racketeering charges under the RICO Act. Gotti Jr. believed to be the acting boss of the family.
Yeah.
Many of the charges related to the attempts to extort money from the owners and employees of Scores, which is an upscale strip club in Manhattan. According to the indictment, the Gambinos had forced the owners of Scores to pay $1 million over a 6-year period in order to keep them doors open.
That's pretty reasonable.
Right? Gotti's share of the money was totaling, what, $100,000?
That's it. 10%. That's it, huh?
In addition to the list seized in the 1997 raid, prosecutors obtained transcripts, prison conversations with Gotti Jr., received a device from his old daddy on how to run the family.
Received advice, but what? See, this is just
Daddy, what do I do?
This just proves how stupid both of these guys are, because Gotti Sr. already knows that they're fucking listening, and
Right.
he's still talking about the shit while he's in prison.
Right.
What a moron, man. Well, faced with
Make
them.
sure you stay low key, buddy.
All right, don't be talking around. You remember how they pinched me? Okay, idiot. Faced with a mountain of evidence, John Gotti Jr. accepted a plea deal to serve nearly 7 years in prison.
I bet you their home phones were never unbugged. I bet you they are always. They probably had a bugging warrant for him for the rest of his life.
Right. Well,
I would.
no, because I don't think we've had a case of a mobster getting caught in his own home.
Why don't they do that now?
Recording stuff.
With like these child predators or whatever, these people that have to be registered, they should be able to record everything this guy does.
Because it's
Still privacy, but they should have cameras in every room.
Would it be a constitutional going against the Constitution?
Definitely going against the Constitution.
Because he's already served his time, especially somebody that's already served their time and all that shit.
Definitely going against the Constitution.
Right, so there you go.
Damn.
As much as I would I'll put him in that box.
Right.
Well,
there goes that.
Yeah, just before accepting a plea deal, he met with his father, who tried to convince him to fight the charges and remain a proud member of the mob.
You got to fight the charges.
It was the last time the two would ever see each other, because the older Gotti died of throat cancer not long after, June 10th, 2002.
Did.
Well, we'll backpedal a little bit. April 5th, 1999, he did indeed plead guilty to 4 acts of racketeering, including bribery, extortion, and the threat of violence against his father's advice. His lawyer said he decided to accept a plea bargain because he believed that he would be subjected to repeated prosecutions in multiple jurisdictions if he did not, which is probably true. Well, we'll see. He gets indicted like 4 more times. September 4th, 1999, Gotti Jr. was sentenced to 6 years, 5 months in prison, and fined $1 million. Federal prosecutors said his uncle Peter Gotti then became head of the organization after he was sent to prison. And he is believed to have formally succeeded his brother John Gotti. Peter did shortly after or before Gotti's death in June 2002. So now he's official. No more acting.
Right. Beautiful. Like it. After Junior was indicted, it brought a lot of stress to his parents' marriage. His mother, up to this point, she had no idea of her son's involvement in mafia.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Sure.
It's only been 20 years.
Right. And she knows everything about the business.
Right.
Get the hell out of here. That's like,
Wow, Junior, you sure do have all these expensive cars and houses, and why are all these guys following you around?
being in that type of life is like trying to hide going through withdrawal. No way. That dude's a junkie.
Yeah, that dude's
a mobster.
That dude's a mobster.
And then she blamed old John Gotti for ruining her son's life. And she was like, I'm going to leave unless you kick Gotti Jr. out of the mob.
Well, it doesn't matter anyways, lady. He's in prison, so
Right.
both of them.
2004, months before he was released from prison, Gotti was charged in an 11-count racketeering indictment. Ain't that what they do? Last day, boys.
Coming up,
Get out
wait a minute. Gotti!
there. Yeah. You are being
Damn it.
arrested. Well, this new indictment included an alleged plot to kidnap Curtis Sliwa, who was a founder of Guardian Angels, as well as securities fraud, extortion, and guess what?
Gotta get that loan sharking in there.
Sharking in there.
Oh, radio talk show host for WABC, Sliwa, had allegedly angered the
Is that
family.
legal? Do you think that they did this? They had all this, but we're going to charge them for this now, and then keep on doing that. Just keep on charging afterwards. It's got to be statute
I don't
of
think there's a
limitations.
statute of limitation on like RICO.
Oh wow, they can just do this.
This would all be under RICO. Right?
They can just have somebody with low petty 1-2 year sentences for each charge, and have like 11 of them, and rack that up for 20 years,
right after each other. Right.
That's bullshit.
I mean, I guess as long as they fall under RICO, which I think that's what would be.
But if they put them all together, it won't be like a 4 or 5 year
They'd
sentence.
be concurrent or some
Right.
shit. Right.
It'd be garbage. Damn.
Well, they're smart, I guess. That's what they say. Those mafia or those feds don't play, man.
They don't play.
They don't play. What is it? The stat is if you get charged federally, like 98% of them end up in convictions of federal charges.
Right.
You don't want to be charged by the feds.
No. Because if they're wasting their time, they got something.
Right. They better.
Right. Ooh. Damn, I wouldn't even try to fight it. Well, I guess you still got to, right?
Well, that's why you take a plea deal.
Right.
Get as low as you can. You're still going to jail for
And then
15 years. That's when everybody started taking plea deals because everybody was getting 100 years for the RICO. And it doesn't matter what the RICO was. You're getting 100 years. What are the mafia, the commission trials?
Like, you do realize if we go to trial and you're found to be guilty, you're getting the maximum.
100 years. You'll die in prison. Man. So take this little plea deal.
It's
Snitch on a couple people. You'll be all right.
15 years.
Right.
You'll do 15.
I think like the federal law mandates like 80% of your time you have to serve. So
You'll serve 12 years.
right. Still better than 100. Right?
True.
Right.
Very true.
But yeah, Sliwa had allegedly angered the family by denouncing the elder Gotti as public enemy number one on his show.
Ooh.
During the trial, two former associates, Michael D. Leonardo and Joseph D'Angelo, testified against Gotti. Through his attorney, Jeffrey Lightman, Gotti admitted that he had been involved in the Gambino crime family in the 90s.
Oh, no.
Can't do that. And had even been slated to lead the organization after his father was sent to jail in 92, but claimed he had left criminal life behind after his conviction in 1999. Well, you had no choice because you're in prison.
Fantastic.
And nobody was coming to you. They wanted you in prison anyways.
Beautiful.
3 juries eventually deadlocked on the charges. The last one, his last trial in 2006, and federal prosecutors decided not to pursue a 4th trial.
All right.
Look at that. Well, that doesn't end for old Junior.
Right. August, year 2008. Gotti arrested. Indicted. Racketeering, murder conspiracy charges. This time in Florida. Mm-hmm. Charges stem from an alleged drug trafficking ring Gotti operated, along with former associate turned government witness John Elite, and with the murders of George Grosso in 1988, Louis De Bono in 1990, and Bruce John Gotter. Got her up.
Got her up.
And Bruce John got her up in 1991. Oh, no.
I mean, it makes sense because his first one was brought in New York. And so New York was like, no, or it was a federal probably. And they're like, no, we got this. Florida probably wanted to charge him. But then they're like, no, you just wait your turn. Wait your turn. He'll get out, and then you guys can charge him after that.
And that's going to be the most one, probably.
Like a murder.
Yeah, but it's murder conspiracy.
No, he's charged with the murders of Grosso, De Bono, and Gotterup. He's been going to him for life.
Wow. Prosecutors charged that the ring distributed at least 5 kilograms of cocaine in the late 1980s and early 1990s. So
That's a poor distribution ring.
passing them out to their buddies.
Kilo. What is kilo?
A kilo is
2 pounds?
No, it's 10 pounds, I believe. Right?
5 pounds? 2.2 pounds.
2.2
Right.
pounds.
So what do they say? 5. So they've 11 pounds of fucking cocaine in 5 years.
Wow.
That's not very much.
How much is 11 pounds of cocaine worth?
In the 80s, probably.
How many kilos they say it was? 5?
Cocaine
Breaking
per
it down.
gram. Per gram in America in 1990, we'll just go with that, would have been either that
131. Same as UK.
UK is 131 pounds per gram. Holy shit.
$131 in the United States.
Right, US dollars per gram. $131 a gram?
What?
No way.
What year was this? 1990.
90.
Yeah, dude, grams. No grams.
Oh, USA right here. Purity and inflation adjusted in 2010. In 1990, it would have been about $167 per gram in the United States in
Get the fuck
1990.
out of here.
Yeah. And then 2010, it went to 169.
$50 to $60 is a good gram, right?
No, but this is pure. They're talking about like the highest quality.
All right.
$167 per gram. So you do how many grams are in 2 pounds? A lot. Yeah, a few $1 million, dude.
Do how many grams to a
Heroin back in. Holy shit.
What was it? 167 grams for what?
For gram. How many grams are in a pound? 28 grams in an ounce. How many ounces in a
grams are
pound?
in a kilo?
So
A kilo. So there's
5,000 grams times 167.
Almost $1 million, $835,000, and that's if you're selling grams, and it's gonna be like way more for that.
5 kilos is only $800,000.
If you're selling grams, most of the time they're gonna sell them.
Yeah, but they're
smaller.
selling. Well, most of the time, they're going to move a kilo at a time,
right.
which would be less than 167 a gram.
Yeah, a kilo times like what? 100,000.
So 5,000 kilos, really, if they sold it a kilo at a time, probably was 600,000. Mm-hmm. Wow.
About that, I'll say, right?
A kilo right now, they're saying costs about $69,000 in 2019. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yep. So back then it would have been probably about 100 grand.
Right.
Right. Wow. All that.
But what's your profit on that 69,000?
Probably like 60,000.
Probably more than that.
Right.
If you're selling it for,
if you're getting it at wholesale, a kilo of cocaine at wholesale prices
Right.
is 69,000. So they're selling it for probably 120 grand. So your wholesale price is 69,000.
so a dealer's paying 69,000,
Right. And they're probably selling it for 120. So they're making what, 50 grand?
and they're probably going to sell their grams for $50 nowadays. Maybe 60. We do 70. 70 times 1,000, right?
Well, in 2022, they got a 1.3 million cocaine load at the customs. Does it say 16 brick-shaped objects? Does it say how much? 18 kilos was $1.3 million in 2019. 41 pounds.
That's not very much.
No. I mean, that's a lot, but 5 kilos, but yeah, about $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 today. Back then, it would have been 600 grand probably.
At least.
That's crazy, dude. And they only did that. They did that in 5 years.
That's it. So
Late 80s, early 90s. They only
made
sold 5 kilos.
They made no money off of that.
Right. What the hell? That's the worst. That is literally the worst drug ring I've ever.
The people that sold it to him were like, "Do you think you can have our money in like 10 years?" Guy was like, "Oh, man.
I'll do you one better. I'll give it to you in 5.
Like, maybe. I don't know. That's rough.
Oh my.
The dude fronted 5 kilos of cocaine
I'll give you
on a 10-year loan.
Dude put a mortgage out on the fucking cocaine.
Oh, wow.
That is terrible. Wow. Well, Gotti's trial was later moved to New York, where he pleaded not guilty and began the trial began in September 2009. Wow. They're getting us for some petty shit.
January 2008, Elite pleaded guilty 2 murders, 4 murder conspiracies, at least 8 shootings, 2 attempted shootings, as well as armed home invasions, armed robberies in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida, all stemming from his alleged involvement in the Gambino crew in Tampa, Florida.
There's some bogus ass charges. Dude. Armed robbery. Get the fuck out of here.
Elite agreed to testify in the trial of Gambino family enforcer Charles Carneglia, who was found guilty of 4 murders and is now serving a lifetime sentence.
I bet he is.
Elite also served as a key prosecuting witness against Gotti. Man, you hang out with these guys
All the time.
drink and get drunk with these sons of bitches,
Cried, laughed.
shootouts probably, and wow, and just like that, boom. During the trial, Gotti allegedly threatened Elite by mouthing the words, "I'll kill you."
Kill you. Stop.
Right. And he also engaged in a shout match with his former associate.
Oh, that was a shit show, huh? And after the incident, Victoria Gotti, who's his sister.
That's how stupid this Gotti guy was, though. You know damn well you're trying to clear your name or whatever.
How many cameras are on you?
Right. And then you're in a court of law and you're going to act like a monster that they're all accusing you.
You're going to act like this mafia guy.
Right.
You say you were out of the business.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, but after the incident, Victoria Gotti told New York Daily News that Elite was a pathological liar, a rat caught in a proverbial trap, caught in his own lies.
Uh-oh.
Elite testified that Gotti was responsible for at least 8 murders, among other crimes, and others.
And others.
December 1st, 2009, 12 jurors announced.
You're going to tell me that the enforcer guy, what's his name?
Carnaglia.
You're going to tell me that
Are you going to tell me?
all they got on him is 4 murders. They don't suspect any.
Of course, they suspect them, but that's what they got evidence of. December 1st, 2009, 12 jurors announced that they had failed to reach a unanimous verdict on all the charges, and the judge declared a mistrial. After the trial, jurors said that they did not find witnesses, particularly Elite, to be credible. Well, no shit.
Right.
He was just convicted of 4 murders, 2 murders, and 4 conspiracy murders.
Oh.
One of the jurors said they should stop this now. It's ridiculous. While another one said it's abusive. It's almost become a mockery.
Oh,
shit. They're just out to get him right now.
Sounds like Donald Trump.
Sad, right?
Gotti, Federal Bureau of Prisons, registered number 00632-748, released December 1st, 2009. After Gotti's 4th mistrial, federal prosecutors had indicated that they would not seek another trial against Gotti.
I mean, come on, guys.
Like, we tried everything. We did everything,
You're
guys.
wasting all these resources on a guy that, come on.
The borough's behind us and all, but we're wasting too much money.
The Buru is the Buru is behind you, but come on.
January 2010, the government decided not to pursue further charges against Gotti. Gotti Jr. maintains that he's since left the Gambino family. 2015 interview with New York Daily News, Gotti denied claims that he was an informant, claiming that he did give the FBI information, but that it was false information, and that no indictments resulted from the information he gave agents.
All right, good for him.
He's like, I gave him something, nothing that they could use.
Right. 2013 November, Gotti was stabbed while breaking up a fight in Seoset, New York.
Ain't that some shit?
Police, who were notified at 9:45 p.m. after Gotti drove himself to the hospital, said they have no evidence to back up Gotti's story. He was treated at North Shore University Hospital and released. One official said he's being very uncooperative. He says these guys were fighting, and he jumps in this big savior, as he's this big savior, and he gets stabbed in the stomach. Get out of here.
Yeah, I got trouble believing that myself.
And as far as we know, nothing was ever made from it. Whether he got charged or they found the guys fighting. So, sweep that under the rug, huh?
Gotti authored a book in 2015, Shadow of My Father. It eventually got turned into a movie.
Boo!
According to Variety, several producers had expressed interest. Gotti chose Fiore, a small, newly created production company. The movie,
I wonder. Let's follow the money. Who's backing that?
right? The movie was originally titled Gotti in the Shadow of My Father. Was to be directed by Barry Levinson. John Travolta was cast as star as Gotti's father, big old John Gotti. Travolta's wife, Kelly Preston. He plays on-screen wife. Look at that shit. Nice. Victoria Gotti. Junior Gotti was played by Spencer LaFranco. The production of the film eventually lost Barry Levinson.
He's like, screw this. John Travolta sucks, dude.
Also on the 25th of July 2016, principal photography on the film renamed to Gotti. Just Gotti. Filming begun with Kevin Connolly as a director.
Old E from Entourage.
Right. I don't even know if this went to theaters.
I don't think it did.
Right. Film was released straight to video June 15th.
Or streaming.
Right. 2018. Gotti Jr. has voiced his dislike of the film.
I would too, bud.
Saying it did not capture the whole story. But he still took part of the promotional tour because he got money.
Right.